Hello everyone, and welcome to the developer walkthrough of the not so incredible tale of El Bioblo Muerte, or Bioblo for short. My name is Jordan Faust. I am the creator of Bioblo, and I'm going to share with you my design process and ideas for the game in this video walkthrough. The first thing you notice at the title screen is the book with the game's title. This is to represent the story aspect of the game, which is essentially being told by the enemy faction of the game. This is similar to I Am Legend, in that the main character is viewed as a boogeyman by the enemies in the story. When you go ahead and click on the Start button, the book will animate and open up, similar to how Disney has done it with some of their movies in the past. After the title screen, the game opens up with sort of this scripted animation sequence, which is a storytelling element to sort of get across the point of why you're playing the game. So what we have here is Bioblo's pet rock is kidnapped by the Red Squares, and I chose this really dramatic music to try and bring it over the top and bring a sort of a humorous element to the game. Much of the game is similar to how I act. I like to bring a lot of humor into things I do, and so it's just supposed to be a silly element to bring some more fun to the game. When you first load into the game, after the story sequence, you're brought into the inside of a house, which is Bioblo's house, Bioblo being the main character. You'll notice here that there's his fireplace, a small house for his pet rock, Rocky. He's obviously not here right now. And there's Bioblo's bed here, which can be activated to restore health outside of the combat levels. And there's just some extra elements in here, like the window and a picture of Rocky, who's obviously not in his sad state. So you can go ahead and click on this flashy arrow here. I made it glow and animate to try and really grab the player's attention that they would click on it. Since the game is handled mostly through the mouse, I really wanted to emphasize the use of the mouse in all aspects of the game. There are some keyboard controls, but they will almost always double as something you can do with the mouse itself. Upon exiting the house, you'll be brought to the overworld, which is where you can navigate all the locations within the game. Here you can see the outside of Bioblo's house, which is centered in the screen, which will indicate which location that you can press the enter to enter into. The descriptions are done in Spanish, which is just a recurring theme to go with sort of the name given to El Bioblo Muerte. Clicking on one of the arrows will let you go to a new location on the map, which you can then use enter to access. Here we have Jose, and Jose is the merchant in the game, which will let you buy and sell items. So we can go ahead and enter in there. So inside this level we have Jose at his merchant shop. Jose is the blacksmith and vendor for the game. You can come in here and buy and sell items. This has not been fully implemented right now, but the idea is you would come in here and you could sell junk you pick up while inside the dungeons, buy potions we have here, some scroll items over here, and then possibly trade equipment or buy a new one for some upgrades. So I'll go ahead and show you the rest of the areas on the overworld. On the bottom of the map we have the Fortress of the Enemy, which was the intended second level for the game. This would have been the final place in the story of the game, however I was not able to complete it in time. So as it stands right now, it's just an area you cannot access. Next to that we have the Cave, which is a playable level. It is the first dungeon in the game, and inside you'll find plenty of enemies to do battle with. So we'll just go ahead and go inside there. So we zone in, click to move, so I can click to move around a little bit here. First thing you should notice is the HUD. You have a health bar, mana bar, and then in the center is your level. Next to that is the 8 hotkeys, and on top is the experience bar. You can open up your ability list, and underneath glossary it will show what your current stats are for the indicated stat written next to it. Then in the abilities, the browned out ones are the abilities that are passives. These you do not have to activate to use, they are always on. And then these normal ones I can just grab and put on my hotbar. I have barrier, heal, gas breath, shadow strike, and finally whirlwind. I can close that out and then open up my inventory list. Underneath here on the contents, it'll show all the items you have. Items are disabled right now due to them causing issues because they're not fully completed, but the inventory and equipment system is working. You have next to the inventory the equipments, which has your standard items, but you also have gems, which are pure stats, which allow you to modify your character in a specific way. Just close that out, and once again, click to move. I can move around, it'll follow it. Inside my options here, I have a how to play, and I really wanted to try to make this with as little information as possible. I put a little bit of text, but then I really wanted to show the player how things are made instead of just telling them through more text on the screen. So it's really interactive and dynamic. Shows off things. There's a glitch, and Bioblo shows up in the bottom of the corner, but that's alright. Credit screen, I just had fun with it. I decided to put my name on there a million different ways. There's always Bioblo in the corner, ever vigilant. So I can go back into the game by clicking resume, and I can just go on through my way, fighting through the level and leveling up as I go. The yellow bar is the experience right there. Once that gets to the end, you'll do a level up. I really wanted the level up to be significant, as you can see there. It's very obvious, big text, lots of stuff happens. Prevents the character from moving, so that way the player is forced to focus on their character and understand why they can no longer move. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do sort of a sped up montage of the fights throughout the cave, so you can see sort of progression of how it goes. You'll see different enemies start popping up, like the skeletons, which are a little stronger than normal enemies. The Viking helmets are much stronger. They have weak attacks but a lot of defense, so it takes a lot more damage to kill them. Archers are wearing the hats with the feathers in them, and they shoot physical damage from range, which is pretty good. However, they're about medium defense, and they die fairly easy. Some other ones you'll notice is the wizard hats, and they're probably the highest damage dealers, but they have the lowest overall health of any of the enemies. They die very quickly. The triangles are a neutral assassin race. If you remember back to the merchant Jose, he was a triangle as well, sort of a neutral person in the world of Bioblo. At the end here, we have the boss fight, and what he will do is he will stun and knock you around while dropping stalactites on your head. Well, not a very difficult boss. He's basically designed just to be annoying. And that is the end of the walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed watching.